Welcome. This is my program, Cooking with Matt, where I'll teach you how to cook through the experimentation of flavors and seasonings. And occasionally, when it's been that kind of day, I'll even show you what cocktails and beverages go best with your meat. Today, we are whipping up something very masculine in my nice masculine pink kitchen. We're in for a treat as I whip up something I like to call flank steak CHERRY-YAKI. Now, what is CHERRY-YAKI? It's a mix between cherry and teriyaki. So now, unless you want to watch me pit cherries today, which will have to be a different show, I've done this in advance, and we have a nice bowl, about a cup and a half, 2 cups. Okay, so now to prep my saucepan, I'm going to be using about a tablespoon of olive oil mixed with a tablespoon of butter. You pour that right in. Now what the olive oil does to the butter is it raises its smoking temperature, so that allows the butter to get a little bit hotter without having to burn, and that's going to be perfect because it'll sizzle our cherries nicely and soften them up for this sauce. So we begin by just turning on the burner. You want this to get pretty hot, so leave it medium high. So as you can see over here, we have our cherries, tablespoon of brown sugar. Now if your teriyaki sauce is a little bit thicker, you can omit the brown sugar. So a teaspoon of cinnamon. Alright, so while I let this heat up and get ready for the cherries, I'm going to walk over and take a look at the flank steak. Flank steak is a little bit tough, so you need to actually beat it up a little bit. So take your 3,000 square foot box of plastic wrap, pull out some plastic wrap to cover it, which is a little trick because it keeps the mess out of the way while you tenderize it. And you really, if you're having a bad day at work, really go to town on this. Once that's all set, it should look kind of like this, really flattened out, and it'll be really good on the grill. And then all we have to do is season it lightly. We got about a teaspoon of black pepper and sea salt, a tablespoon of cayenne pepper, which will give it a nice spiciness so that will balance very well with the sweetness of the cherry. And then also some granulated garlic, about a teaspoon. As you can tell by my cool sunglasses, I'm ready to grill. So what we got here is our nicely rubbed steak. I'm going to throw it on our very hot grill. So we preheated this to about 400 to 450 degrees. It only needs a couple minutes on each side because, like my cabinets, I like my steak pink. Back over at the stove, you can see this is reduced very nicely. It's pretty thick. All it needs is just one last final ground of pepper just to season it to taste. Now we're going to go walk over to the flank steak, and that looks like a beautiful piece. So we can just slice that up real quick. Little quick dollop of sauce, you can go right on top. The nice tenderness of the steak works really well with the sweetness of the cherry. Cinnamon actually brings out a little bit of a smokiness to it. This is fantastic. If you're using Northwest cherries, why not use a nice Merlot from Washington State? They're known for their Merlots, and they have a tendency to carry a little bit of a cherry flavor to it. So I'm going to pour myself a little glass. Thanks for joining me today and winding down with Matt. I think I should be the next Food Network star because I'm comical, creative, and willing to cross a few boundaries to get the right food onto your plate. Thanks. Cheers.